Welcome to the City Show. I'm your host, Dr. Tom Krieger. Happy New Year. It's great to be back for another year of just showcasing everything that's Lebanon. If it's happening in Lebanon, you're going to find out about it here. On our show today, we're going to preview the big annual fundraising gala for the Lebanon Theatre Company, which they're calling My Favorite Things. Dawn Stone and Wayne Dunn will be here to tell you all about that. But up first, Dr. Karen Schaeffer, and she's from the pastor from Bethel AME Church is here, along with someone you probably recognize, Emiko Moore. And once again, they'll be hosting Lebanon's 35th annual Martin Luther King Day, a celebration which takes place on Monday, January 20th at the Countryside YMCA Event Center this year. Welcome back. Yeah, we talked about this last year, and what a great event. Yeah.
Yes.
How did they go last year?
Well, it was great, and
Yeah.
we had our 34th event last year, and this year we're going into our 35th year of the event, so it's a big year for us.
That's exciting, yeah. And Emiko, you're here to talk about story sharing. Okay?
That's right.
Yeah, can you tell us about that?
Sure.
What's behind that?
Well, we decided that it's a good opportunity for the community to get to know one another.
Yeah.
So often we don't have people that really know people who are not like themselves.
Yeah.
People tend to stick with what they're comfortable and so we wanted to offer an opportunity for people to come and hear other people's stories and to share their own stories. So this was really just an opportunity for people to come together. We have small groups where they get to share a little bit about themselves with each other. And I think the belief that kind of started all this was that a lot of times once you start to hear someone else's story, you begin to understand someone else's perspective a little better.
Yeah.
So
is that the intention? Cultural crossing over different lines and getting people to share their history and their experience?
Yes, I think so. I think especially in this country, we live in a time where a lot of people talk past each other and don't really understand each other. And I think there's so many stories that we have in this community that people don't know. So it's an opportunity for us to share people's stories that people might not realize that are happening and have happened for years here in this community.
So do you have some speakers lined up who are sharing their stories?
No, what we've done, because we want to give people an opportunity to share if they want to in small groups, because sometimes talking, and the questions that we have for people to share are really ones that are more comfortable and the level of the way they want to share it. And they're really things like, what was your childhood like, you know, in your family, what was mealtime like, you know, and so these are things that are easier questions for people to answer as you're getting to know someone who might look different from you, talk different from you, be a different race, or just anybody that you might not have had a chance to get to know in the community.
Wow, that's awesome. And that's going to be January 19th at the Lebanon Presbyterian Church between 2 and 4.
That's right.
And who do you anticipate attending this? And how are you getting the word out for people to come to this sharing?
This is open to the whole community, to anyone, all ages, because these are questions that it's an intergenerational experience for everyone. So there's no cost. It's really open to anyone.
Well, that's
anyone
awesome.
Who wants to come.
And this year's theme is focus on what matters. How'd you come up with that?
Well,
did you come up with that?
Well, it was a group kind of consensus, but I'll let Karen probably explain a little bit more, but I do like the idea that this year's 2020, and that's a lot about vision. If you have 2020, you're really in focus. Yeah. So, I'll let Karen explain more about that, but we really are playing on the fact that this is, you know, we want to focus in on what's important. We have a number of people who are part of the coalition, and each year when it's time to develop a theme, we have an opportunity for people to really think about and contribute to what the theme will be. And through that process of interaction, then we come up with the theme together. So that's how it emerged, as people talked about the importance of just the things that Emiko was talking about in terms of
sharing our stories, getting to know each other in community. And I think this is your third one that you have facilitated.
Yeah, nice.
I've had the opportunity to be at both of the others, and I think attendance just about doubled from the first to the second, and we're hoping to double the attendance again. So I think there were around 75 people at the most recent one. And then we divide, like Emiko said, into the small groups, so people have those smaller group conversations. It's a very dynamic time.
You know, I love what you do as far as spearheading this, and it's an opportunity for the other churches to get involved too. And I know it's Lebanon Presbyterian. Are the other churches aware of what's going on, and have they kind of, are they getting on board a little bit more and working with you?
They are.
Good.
There are
Yeah.
several churches,
Wow.
and it's exciting to me as well as a pastor, because a lot of it is lay-led and pastor-supported, but lay-led
Nice.
effort.
Yeah.
So several churches are part of the steering committee, have representation on the steering committee, and work on the multiple projects throughout the year.
Nice. You got a poster over there.
Yes.
And that, I think that has a story on it. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, I'd love to. And I just want to say that it takes place at the Lebanon Presbyterian Church, but they've graciously given us a space for us to use, and I want to thank them for that. And they also have an outreach committee that is serving coffee and cookies. So they're really helping us out so that we have a place to do this. But this is really a community an event. It's not necessarily one church's
So Martin
event.
Luther King would like it to be, Dr. King.
That's right,
Wow.
it would be.
That's awesome.
And one of the things that we wanted to do for the community stories was to share some of the stories that we have in our community. And this is one. I'm going to see if I can get this
That's
in position.
good.
Whoops,
Yeah, that's perfect.
is that good right
Yeah.
there? And this is Margaret Kimberlin. And I had a chance to talk with Margaret Kimberlin here and have her tell me her story. And she's 93 this year. She's probably one of the oldest members of the African American community here. So she's got a wealth of information. But she opened up, even her daughters didn't know this story. I call it the Cherry Cola civil disobedience story. And basically, in a nutshell, this was in the 1940s. She went to Lebanon High School, which at the time was at Berry Middle School. That was our high school. And while she was there, she heard a lot of other kids talk about going to the drugstore. And the drugstores at those times, as you probably know, were places where people would get sodas and snacks and things like that, not like the pharmacies we have today. We have to tell kids that drugstores were places
Used to
to
be called
eat.
the 10 and dime store.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the one here in town was Jamison and Iveson, which is located. The building's still here. It's where Anna's popcorn shop is. So she heard she and a couple of her classmates who are black heard all the other kids talk about going to get a cherry cola, which was a new thing at the time, and how good it tasted. But she could never go in there and sit down at the counter because segregation was a common practice during this time. So she and her friends decided that they wanted to go, and they really wanted to try this cherry cola. But they also knew that there would be ramifications in the community. One of the parents of her friends worked at this place as well and could easily have his position be terminated or something else. So they talked with him and got his permission and blessing to go ahead and go for it. And so the three of them did end up going and going in and sitting down and ordering a cherry cola. And I just think about the kind of bravery that took to be able to go in during this time, to go against a system, and sit down and have their cherry colas. I mean, eventually the apparatus was taken down after another week or so. But for them, this was something that was done, even before a lot of the big civil rights movements were starting to take place in the late 50s and 60s. So we have someone, and she's still here in town, and she has a lot of other stories.
Wow.
So
Is she going to be there for the event?
I don't think she'll be there. Her health is an issue, but we have other people with other stories who are there that we have, and we let the community read these stories in the beginning of it so that they can kind of get an idea that there are stories they might not know and might never have even thought about.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, those can be refreshments, as you mentioned, on Sunday. So are you asking folks to register for the story session ahead of time? And if so, how do they do that?
They can. We do have a Facebook post, and
Okay.
we are sending out information to a lot of the churches in this area, but they can also go to the mlklebanon.org website and just register there. But even if you haven't, please don't let that stop you from coming. We want anybody
Come
to
on
show
down.
up.
Yeah.
But it helps us to get an idea of how many tables and chairs to set out if
Yeah.
people do register. So we would like to encourage people to do that.
Now this year, the event's moving to the YMCA, their event center, which it must be growing. Last year, where did they have? Did they have everything at the Presbyterian Church last year? Or did they have?
We were actually at Resurrection Lutheran
Okay.
Church for the 7 o'clock ecumenical service last
Okay.
year, but we had some events at the Y during the day. The art workshop event last year was at the Y and will also be at the Y in the afternoon from
Okay.
noon to 2 again this year. And we encourage families to come out and young people can volunteer to help with the event, and children and their parents can come out and engage in learning about Dr. King, about the ongoing work that's happening to continue to work toward that beloved community that
Yeah.
Dr. King imagined, where it's the content of our character that counts.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that continued involvement of Resurrection Lutheran Church and their art ministry in continuing our coalition work this year, and that is where we had our event last year. Over the years, we have moved from church to church. Bethel AME Church of Lebanon has been historically one of the places where people gathered, but as you probably recall, we had a fire in our church in 2017, so we're still working toward our rebuild, and we're just very grateful for how the ecumenical community in our town really works together and pulls together, so that it's been at St. Patrick's Episcopal Church, and Bethany UCC Church has been very much involved over the years. And if I try to list all of the churches that have been involved, I'll miss some of them. But
So how do they line up for the next year? Do the churches get a hold of you, or do you approach them? I would think it'd be a great community event for each church to kind of be involved in.
In
How does that
general,
work?
what happens is the steering committee, people
Yeah.
who are sitting on the steering committee and or serving on a committee in the coalition will recommend a church, or that specific church will invite,
Okay.
and then the steering committee will make a decision. This year, we really wanted to work with the Y because we think that the MLK Community Coalition is not strictly a religious organization.
Yeah.
It's really a nonpartisan, nonprofit business.
Yeah.
And so we have a mission to really develop a network of both individuals and organizations that work together, committed to Dr. King's dream, and we're really focusing on empowerment for all people in our community. So what we're doing includes governments, includes civic organizations and businesses and just individuals. And so by having it at the Y, it's a way to reach out to those people who are not necessarily coming at it from a religious perspective.
That's awesome. The art component of this last year seemed to be a bigger component. What are they drawing? Are they drawing things to a theme of focus on what matters, or is it MLK? What is the
The overarching theme, as you mentioned, this year is 2020,
Yeah.
focus on what matters. The art projects vary from year to year, but the artist from Resurrection Lutheran, they bring things that are appropriate for very young children, like coloring sheets or things that are already drawn for them just to respond to. But they also have artistic things like creating visual poetry out of speeches of Dr. King that are printed.
Yeah.
They've done things like make mosaics, and I think this year they're going to be doing something with a launching into the future type of plane type of visual. So it'll be really interesting to see what they produce.
So overall, what do you have planned for the program?
Well, each year we have our Drum Major of Service Awards,
Okay.
so we'll recognize a business and an adult and youth in our community. People know who has been nominated, and we're looking forward to celebrating with those individuals and businesses to recognize people who over the years have been doing work committed to equity and justice in our community.
That's awesome. And you call this, you hand out Drum Major Awards.
The Drum Major of Service Awards, yes.
Okay. Where did you come up with that name?
Well, Dr. King has a sermon, and he did work where he was actually, it's paradoxical because it's the people who are not trying to be the drum major and the focus and center of attention, but people who are trying to do the work of advancing other people and moving the work forward in community, who actually end up getting the Drum Major of Service Awards.
And how do you align? Does the committee get names of people that they're going to vote for this, or?
Yes, and we encourage people to go on our website at mlklebanon.org and nominate people and nominate organizations, because we try to gather those nominations throughout the year from the community, and then the steering committee appoints a committee to go through those nominations and evaluate them based on the criteria of the Drum Major of Service Awards.
And you've been doing this for how many years?
For the Drum Major of Service Awards, at least for the past 5 years. I'm not going to be able to give you an accurate number on that, but for sure.
Can you share the name of some of the recipients with us as far as who's won in the past?
Over the years, we've had actually Jay Mills, who is very active in our community, has been a recipient in the past, and we've recognized Mary Lou Harmon, who has been a person who has done work throughout the years in our community. We've been able to recognize Miss Marie Singleton and several others over time.
Okay, well, that's fantastic. Who can attend the celebration, and do we need to have reservations from this or for this?
We want everybody to come. Everyone in the community is invited to be at the Y at 7 o'clock over at the Event Center. We will have special music and a real focus on what matters in 2020.
Well, that's fantastic. Are there any other events planned around Martin Luther King holiday that you can tell us about?
This year, what we've described so far with the community stories and the art workshop and the gathering at the Y, those are the things that we're going to be doing on the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. We will be following up several times during the year. In March, we have Deborah Stokes coming to do a more in-depth training around healing racism in our community, to really to build off the community stories. We look to continue the community stories, which, as Emiko said, is a gentle way for us to get to know each other and build relationships. And then as people who have participated in that or have done other kinds of conversations that have led them to want to go into more depth and do some of what some may consider some of the harder work. We have that ahead of us as we move into the year, which we are looking forward. We're anticipating that will be a smaller group of people, but we're looking forward to that in March. Then, and we also are planning on having a fun run, as well as our community days of service, which happen each quarter. So keep watch on the website, and we'll try to keep in touch with you all so that everybody will know
lots of runs. That's
what the events are throughout the year.
Are you going to allow people to walk in that event too? Because I mean, at my age, running's not fun, but I'd consider attending if I could walk.
Walking, yes, and I can't answer yet for sure if we'll have people rolling, but I'm hoping so, that we'll have some strollers and wheelchairs. Yes, so it's intended to be fun, and it's intended to be for all levels of fitness, so you can walk a short distance or run a long distance, depending on what your preference and what your fitness level is.
And Emiko, you've been in this for 3 years?
Yep, about 3 years.
What was the draw for you? I mean, you have so much talent. And were you looking for something to just kind of pour yourself into?
No, there were a couple events and things that had happened the year. Karen had actually asked me to come help lead or host the day's events. And I was very honored to do that because I really do admire a lot of the work that MLK tried to was working to do, this nonviolent efforts, bringing people together and understanding. So I really like that. But that year there were a couple of events, national kind of news stories from around this area that were stories that were ones that were concerning to me about our area and how we treat each other. And so I talked with Karen about the need for people to really get to know each other. I feel, just in my personal opinion, that there's still a lot of what I'll call social segregation that happens. People are, and not, it's really more because people don't know how to connect or talk with each other. And a lot of what this community story, so I wanted an opportunity to try to help bring people together. I am not an expert on race relations, on facilitating any of this. I'm just a member of the community, and they were willing to allow me to actually kind of push me to step up because I just thought I would help, and they were like,
Care and love go a long way, and I can't help but notice your shirt. Where is the love?
Yes, that's a Black
that.
Eyed Peas song that I really love, and it's a great message too about how in this country, where is the love? We all need to kind of try to help work together to find that, because it's an important message. And I also think that listening is an underrated skill that we need in this country, and one that is a focus of what our community stories is about. So many people talk, again, past each other, and I think if we really took the time and learned how to listen and really hear what someone else is saying without being distracted, we might hear a lot more than we realize.
Yeah, well said. Hey, what about the lunch program? You're helping the kids. I mean, after Martin Luther King Day is over, you guys aren't done. You got the run coming up, but you have a program to help with lunches.
Yes, Lunch on Us. Renee Forster is the project leader for that project of the MLK Community Coalition. As Emiko mentioned earlier, we are focused on the values that the King Center promotes, which are those nonviolent, peaceful ways of building community. And one of the things that we do is we assess what our community needs. There are multiple ways that we do that, and Renee is very focused on making sure that hungry people are fed. That's just one of her ministries. And so having done the research in our community of where people who are hungry are already being fed and where there were gaps, she discovered that there's lunch debt, and children who have lunch debt were not always being fed the same lunch as other children. It's throughout our country. It's not just here, but this is our location and where we can do something about it.
That's
so
huge.
there have been a number of people who partnered with us to make Lunch on Us a success, and we've been able to pay a significant amount of the lunch debt, and through and again, it's through our partnerships with other people. It's a community-wide effort. And so
now, is that the MLK Coalition, or is that your church that does that, or did you do that together?
That's the Martin Luther King Community Coalition,
awesome.
which we are a part of, but which is definitely supported by many other organizations and individuals.
So if people wanted to be part of that and help these young people get their lunches paid, how do they find out about that component?
Again, you can visit our website, and also we're able to receive donations to the Lunch on Us through PayPal on our website, and those donations go, 100% of Lunch on Us donations go to pay off lunch debt at the Lebanon City Schools. And now we're positioned at this point with other organizations joining in the effort to be able to start to provide lunches to make sure that the students who are now, the debt is paid up, and we can make sure that students are able to buy their lunch and have the same lunch as other students.
That's awesome. That is so significant. Did we miss anything as far as the dates? The dates again, we're looking at the 19th and the 20th.
19th, 2 to 4, Lebanon Presbyterian Church.
Yeah, this is a great event. make sure you make it to this. Stay tuned. We're going to change things up a little bit this year, and we'll return with the community calendar right after this break.
Break your fast food habit at Kelly's Meats and Deli at 1001 West Main Street in Lebanon. Stop in for a quick lunch featuring made-to-order sandwiches, tasty sides, and mouth-watering daily specials. For dinner, Kelly's offers fresh-cut steaks, chops, and seafood, plus a variety of prepared dishes that only need to be reheated. You'll also find a large selection of high-quality wine and beer that can make any meal a special event. Kelly's Meats and Deli open 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tuesday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, now open for dinner Saturdays 6 to 9 p.m. And remember, we cater too.
Your hometown source, the Lebanon Channel, is now on YouTube.
I know how fortunate I am.
Just search City of Lebanon, Ohio to connect with everything that's happening right here.
And that's going to be an exciting part about this walking tour.
Subscribe to receive exclusive local content available only on the Lebanon Channel.
Wow, Neil Armstrong's coming to my launch. I was so excited about that.
That's the City of Lebanon, Ohio, now on YouTube.
That's what makes this Lebanon, Ohio a great place to live.
Yeah. When it comes to healthcare, the most common question I get is, are you on our insurance? Well, we're probably not because we don't accept insurance, but our prices are extremely fair and you're going to get great care. So if your plan is to get great care, we are your plan. We offer chiropractic, fitness programs, massage, and clinical nutrition. So if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, call our office, schedule for a free consultation so we can discuss any question you have and get you well.
Call now to schedule your free initial consultation.
I've been driving a truck for 40 years now. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. Like the trucks can't stop quickly. It takes my 80,000-pound truck 200 yards to come to a complete stop. So I always do my best to give a lot of cushion. It helps when other drivers realize that and do the same. Please give trucks the space we need so we can all stay safe. It's our roads, it's our safety.
Welcome back. It's now time for the community calendar. This Saturday, January 11th, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers will conduct a midwinter bald eagle count from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at Caesar Creek Lake State Park. Bring your binoculars, warm clothes, and sturdy boots, and join them as they walk the park searching for the eagles that now call Caesar Creek Lake their home. Reservations aren't required. Just check in at the Visitor Center and join the search. For more information, call 513-897-1050. The Warren County Historical Society will present Coffee with the Curator on Saturday, January 18th from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. and the topic will be the history and styles of the hundreds of vintage chairs on display at the Harmon Museum. If you want to know the difference between Biedermeier and a Hempelwhite, then you should check this class out. The cost is $10 for non-members and you can reserve your seat, no pun intended, online at wchsmuseum.org or call 513-932-1817. Don't forget the Martin Luther King celebration in Lebanon on Monday, January 20th at the Countryside YMCA. The program begins at 7 p.m. and no reservations are needed. If you want to participate in the Sharing Stories event on Sunday, the 19th, and go online by January 9th to mlklebanon.org and sign up. Both events are free and open to the public. The Warren County Historical Society will present the Lebanon Antique Show and Sale on January 25th and 26th at the Warren County Fairgrounds. The hours are 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday and 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. The show features a large selection of 18th, 19th, and 20th century American and continental furnishings, plus decorative arts, primitive textiles, old blue china, old patterned glass, jewelry, silver, art glass, folk, and fine art. You can purchase your tickets for $6 in advance online at wchsmuseum.org or at the gate for $8. For more information, call 513-932-1817. And coming up after this break, we'll be back to talk about the Lebanon Theatre Company's fundraising gala, My Favorite Things, on January 17th and 18th, so don't go away.
Credit challenge? No problem. Here at Bob Pulte Chevrolet, get approved on a new Chevrolet with financing as low as 9.9% plus $2,000 in rebates. Don't waste time shopping elsewhere. Apply online today at bobpulte.com, and you'll love the Pulte price.
Since 1954, Hardee's Interiors has been providing quality furnishings for homes in and around Lebanon, Ohio. Today, you'll still find quality antique and vintage furniture along with new Made in America furniture of all styles. At Hardee's, you can create a mix of furniture and accessories that truly reflects your personality, all made to last a lifetime. Designers are welcome, and so are you. Hardee's Interiors at 208.5 Wright Avenue or online at hardeesinteriors.com.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Bob Pulte Chevrolet always gives you the best. Best price, guaranteed. Best trade-in value. Best selection. Best financing on all new and pre-owned vehicles. See for yourself at bobpulte.com. And you'll love the Pulte price.
Welcome back to the City Show. Joining me on a couch are Dawn Stone and Wayne Dunn of the Lebanon Theatre Company, and they're here to entice you to attend the 2020 Lebanon Theatre Company Gala, My Favorite Things. Happy New Year. So let's take care of this right away. There's no dinner included with this,
right?
But the ticket prices are only $35, which is nice. Why the change?
We had several patrons who told us that they would rather their money went to the theater company than for paying for food.
Okay.
And we listened to what our people say.
Yeah.
So we're trying it, see how it works.
How many patrons do you typically have come to the event?
Well, last year the way we did it, because we served a dinner and we did that on the stage, we could only accommodate 64 people a night. So what we're hoping, because lowering the price, is that we can sell out the house, which seats 108, I think.
Wow.
We'd love to be able to sell out both nights. That would be great. But we will have snacks for purchase.
Okay.
So you won't starve. If you're hungry, we'll have something for you. We're going to have plates of like a charcuterie with meat and cheeses on it, and then another plate of desserts, which would be great, and a cash bar, so you won't go hungry or thirsty. If you have a need, we'll meet it. But
I'm going to have to take on an Uber service or something out here, because these people are going to need some rides home.
Yes.
Yeah. Despite all that, the show that you're presenting is just as special as ever. Can you tell me about My Favorite Things?
Well, the theme comes from the Rodgers and Hammerstein song from Sound of Music. These are a few of my favorite things. So the idea is that we sing about our favorite ideas, or maybe a song that we wanted to do and didn't have any other way to fit it in. It's one of our favorite things, and we're going to share that with our audiences now.
Okay. Can you tell me who we're going to see on stage for this event?
Wow, there are like 20 people on the show, I think.
Is this like the all-star cast, the returning people who've been there? And I imagine as these performers, not only their friends, but after a while, they probably get a following where people get connected. So tell us a few of the names who are coming. Maybe that'll entice, because that's the whole theme of this. Let's entice people to come. So can you give me 5?
Well, we have Kim Toft, who's done a lot of leads in the musical.
Okay.
We have Gina Davidson and her husband, who plays the bass, and they're doing a really cute duet. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Okay.
Ted Hennis, everybody in town knows Ted, so he'll be in it too. And then a guy named Jim Fry who's new to us. He's just been with us for a couple years, but he sings in a barbershop quartet.
Okay.
And so they're coming too, and they are fantastic.
Yeah.
So they're always a big crowd pleaser.
Now, are you a performer also?
Yes.
Because you light up as you're just talking about this. So, yeah.
Yes, and I'll be singing too.
Okay.
So.
Are you going to be belting out some tunes?
I don't know how about belting, but yes, crooning and whatever. Yes, I plan to do a few.
Okay. So does this kind of become a celebration for you guys too, since this is the kickoff of the year, but also kind of the close off of the year before in a way? So is this kind of a celebration of?
Well, we like to think of it more of a starting point than an ending point, just because we'd rather be starting than ending.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So.
But you got so much to celebrate. I mean, the history, what you guys have been through, it's your building now. Was it a year ago we were sitting here talking about
the possibilities of
help
it.
us? We need some assistance. And did the community come in? And
boy,
just
did
really,
they. We have a great community out there that really supported us and made us feel very humble.
So any specifics as far as the songs that people are going to be performing?
We like to keep that a secret.
Okay.
Have a surprise. But we're really excited about it. And this is our big money maker for the year. So we're really going to emphasize donation, and you know.
So do you try to get corporate donations as well? Do you have many corporate sponsors?
We do.
Okay.
We do.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of very generous patrons.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And they like to come and hear us sing and then.
Yeah. You know, I think I would go, one name of a local celebrity we haven't mentioned is Jay Mills.
That's true.
Is he going to be performing? Because I would.
He performs every place he goes.
He does. Yeah.
No, he's a music conductor and director for the whole thing. So he's going to be very active, and he's going to wear his little fingers down to the nubs on the piano by the time the show's over.
Now you guys have both been part of the Lebanon Theatre Company for a little while. How many years?
We'll be starting our 25th season, our 25th year of work this coming year. And it feels like it sometimes too.
Yeah.
But then you look back with all the good work we've done, and it's very, you just get a sense of fulfillment about it. Yeah.
That's neat. Yeah.
And it's great that we own the building now too, because we've been doing a lot of upgrading. So we've done a lot of painting.
Yeah.
It looks so pretty now. I think people will really notice when they walk in.
It's a great location.
Yeah,
It
it is.
really is.
It is.
Now, what about the cast and crew and production performances? Have they changed much over the years? Obviously, you've seen
You're talking
a lot
about
of
this show,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
okay? Yes, we started. It's all her fault. She was, at the time, she was touring Europe doing opera, but she came home for a break. And since she was staying for a little while, she said, why don't I do a concert as a fundraiser for you people? So that was the very first one. She did we set people on the stage that we had from the show before, and it was very unusual, a cabaret kind of feel to it. And that kicked off. So since we had this diva, we had another one called The Divas.
Yeah.
And then from there it kind of branched and grew out. And
do you have many people who are still with you from the beginning, as far as the crew, the cast, that have been along the same journey? Or
5 maybe?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, for 25
5 or
years,
6,
that's like family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you get new performers each year? Do they come to you, or do you?
We try to throw things out on social media as much as we can. We just had auditions last night and the night before for our next upcoming show, and that's been all over Instagram and Facebook. So we try. That seems to be a good way to bring, especially younger people in.
Now, how else has having your own theater kind of helped just improve everything that you're doing? You mentioned you can paint it, you can change it. Any other benefits of it being yours?
No worries about being thrown out of it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
less stress, peace.
Yeah.
That goes a long way.
yeah, now the worry goes to how long will this heating system hold up? It's now 30 years old, and when are we going to do? What are we going to do to replace it when it goes? So.
Yeah. Okay. But that's another reason that we do these fundraisers too, because we have this wish list of things that we would like.
Okay.
For example, we'd love to be able to change out all the stage lights to LED lights. Is that right? LEDs and whatever they are.
That's right.
Anyway, and because they don't put out any heat, so that helps in so many ways, less electricity, et cetera, but also then it's less wear and tear on the AC, right? And also sometimes it can be a little bit loud in the house when those machines kick on. So the next thing, we'd like to replace that eventually too, and get that up on the roof or somewhere else where it doesn't interfere with the sound.
Yeah.
So we're dreaming big.
Nice.
You know.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, and because the building's ours, we can, because
Now, when is the gala?
January 17th and 18th.
And how do we get tickets for this?
ltcplays.com.
Okay. And if you're ever downtown, you're walking by, they have all that stuff up there.
Yes.
Okay, so snap a picture of it.
And Jay will probably be in there.
Jay
Wave
probably
to him.
will
Go
be.
in, say hi. He
Yeah.
loves that.
Now, what is the response to the lack of a meal as part of the ticket been? Many people upset about not getting fed. They get it. They realize, hey, this isn't about you getting a meal. This is about support and keeping this wonderful operation going.
Well, we're sort of early into the ticket sales part because we concentrated so much on getting our best Christmas pageant ever on the boards and off and getting set up for this one, that we were pushing all of those other things, the auditions and best Christmas pageant. Now we've switched over and started featuring this and trying to get the people aware of what we're doing. So
I would think it'd be an opportunity for all the wonderful restaurants in town to kind of come alongside you and maybe offer a special for the patrons of the theater. Come out, have dinner at a little special rate. Who knows? Anyway, get a hold of these guys and you can work together because we have so many great places to eat now in town.
Yeah, I know.
We do.
Can you give me a few examples of how the theater company is going to use the money by the gala? You mentioned the lighting. Anything else?
Our number one expense is occupancy.
Okay.
And that's making our loan payment, our heat, our air conditioning, our water bill, our garbage, all that sort of thing. That takes up about, I think, somewhere around 60 or 65% of all the money that comes in goes right back out to that.
Yeah.
So that slices a lot off.
Now, you mentioned you're going to have some snacks and there's going to be some beverages
Yes.
served there. Have you partnered up with anybody else in town, or are you doing that all
Well,
yourself?
we have someone amongst us
Catering?
who was a caterer.
Okay,
yes.
fantastic.
So, and she's wonderful.
And what other ways are there to help the support the theater? How else can people step up? And
We still have season tickets for
Okay.
sale.
Okay.
Not a lot, but we still have a few of those for sale.
It's prorated because there are only 2 shows left in the season now.
Okay.
So
how many performances are there in a year typically?
we have 3 shows that comprise our season ticket.
Okay.
Our main stage shows, what we call them.
Okay.
Then we have a summer show sometimes, which we're going to have this year. We have the Christmas show or the family show at holiday times. We have our fundraiser. What am I forgetting?
We try to bring in the Off the Hill.
Okay.
Yes, off the hill.
Okay.
From Playhouse in the Park.
Okay.
And they come in and do children's things. They're coming to us in April doing Dragons Love Tacos. Evidently, kids like that book. It's very popular with them, so they're going to have fun seeing it and all
I'll have
act
to
it
read
out.
that.
and-
Yeah, yeah. How much are the tickets to watch a performance? What does it cost to come down and enjoy?
It's
$20 per
$20.
ticket for a regular show.
Okay, wow, that's
This
fantastic.
one's $35, but then it's our
Yeah.
fundraiser. So.
Okay, well, fantastic. And when's your next play, or what's your next play?
It's called the
Music Comedy Murders of 1940, right?
Okay.
I always get that name mixed up.
And the dates on that
It's
are when?
called. Sorry. Here, there's the brochure.
Mayhem, Murder, and Mystery.
The Musical Comedy Murders of 1940, yes.
Okay.
That's our season is Mayhem, Mystery, Murder, and Mystery. We had Mayhem and Murder in 39 Steps.
Okay.
This one has murder in it also. And then the spring show is Assassins, which is about the men and women who have attempted or completed assassinations of a U.S. president.
Okay. And all the seats are good. You
They're
have
great.
it set up to where
They're great.
That's got to be an advantage of having your own place. No bad seats. Yeah.
No bad
And the
seats.
date on that performance is when again?
Which one?
This one, Murder and Mayhem.
It opens March 6th.
Okay.
And runs for 2 weekends.
Okay. And the gala is.
Well, since you asked, I just happen to have a poster
Wow.
right here. January 17th and 18th.
Okay. And tickets are $35.
$35, yeah.
Great organization, great price. Get a hold of them. Support Lebanon Theatre. It's a great thing. If you haven't been to a performance, shame on you. Get down there. It's great entertainment, and it's in town. Did I miss anything?
What night are you coming?
I'm not sure. I'll have to look at my wife's schedule and talk about that. But yeah, I'll definitely do what I can to make it there.
All right. Well,
again,
clear
if
it with
Jay
the
Mills
boss.
is there,
Yes.
I'm going to want to be there.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah,
That's
'cause
true.
He's a dear friend. Well, stay right there. We'll be back to wrap up the show right after this break.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Disaster tips from the objects left behind.
My home wasn't insured, but you can check your insurance policy now to make sure you're covered. Oh.
My savings are lost, but you can put money aside and plan for unexpected disaster costs.
We're lost forever, but you can scan important documents now so they survive.
For more tips on how to prepare, visit ready.gov.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where do cats go on vacation? New York.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
You made her college years possible, opening that education savings account when she was little, spearheading campus tours, and deciphering financial aid. If you can ace planning for college, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
Well, that's our show for this week. We'll return January 21st and talk about Countryside YMCA's annual gala and talk about Casey Burdick's other job, fighting forest fires in Alaska. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.